So there's a new rap track from the rapper Macklemore. I'm looking at you, man. Do you know who that is?
I do know who he is.
We've seen this before in the Middle East. Obviously, a lot of Middle Eastern artists have been coming out with like rap songs and anthems for the Palestinian cause. But this is the first time. I think this is the biggest star that's Western who's done this.
What I liked about it is that he's also referencing Western influences. Like he has images of Tupac.
Apparently all the proceedings are going to go to obviously the Children's Relief Fund in Palestine.
It's a tribute to the 6-year-old child who died, and then now Macklemore has released Hind's Hall, the rap. It does more than just like lip service. The song samples Fairuz's Ana La Habibi.
Ana La Habibi.
So
mashallah. She speaks Arabic now.
And kind of calling them out because they have been in the past protesting, created songs about protest in America and sort of referencing back at them, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about global artists standing up for Palestine.
Looking at what caught our attention at the Met Gala.
And Heeramandi, the new Netflix show that everyone's talking about.
Hello, welcome to Culture Bites here from the National News. I'm Enas Refaei.
I'm Farah Andrews.
And I'm Maan Jalal.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
How are you all?
Good.
Good.
How long have you been awake?
Yeah. Are you okay?
Are you okay, hun?
How many coffees have I had today? So full disclosure, we're recording this on Tuesday. So it's Met Gala day here in the UAE. Tuesday morning, it's not the first Tuesday in May probably, but it's the day after the Met Gala, and I've been awake since 4
Wow.
a.m.
She said that when it went up at the end.
Like a question mark. It's, am I jet lagged? No.
Do you ever get jet lagged? You don't strike me as you're very good at sleeping, Farah. It's your superpower.
Didn't Taylor Swift say that jet lag's a mindset?
Did she?
I think so.
Pretty sure science would disagree with that.
It's like when she went to go see Travis at the Super Bowl, he was like, "You're not jet lagged," and she was like, "Jet lag's a mindset."
I love that energy.
Something like that.
Oh, I thought you meant it was in a song. If that was in a, that's a great title for a song. Yeah.
It will be. It'll be on her album
Jet lag is a mindset.
about Travis, which is inevitable. But no, I'm good.
We're going to talk more about the Met Gala.
Yeah, we aren't starting with the Met Gala, so let's not go down that rabbit hole now.
We'll leave it for later.
Yeah.
And Maan's wearing a really fetching outfit today that caught my eye.
Olive green and pink.
Matt's brought Met Gala.
Yeah, I felt Met brought the Maan Gala. Yeah, Maan got the Met Gala. Yeah, but I think I was inspired a little bit by the Met Gala, and so I just, green and pink, I pinked it up.
I put a bit of sparkle on my eyes.
Yeah.
Probably can't see it.
It's reflecting off the... Yeah.
I'm dazzled by you both. I did all my work this morning in my pajamas, then went and had a shower, found a skirt, and then got driven in here.
That's also great energy.
I'm here.
So this week we're going to kick off by talking about UK and US musicians. So UK and US musicians are uniting and standing up for Palestine. So there's a new rap track from the rapper Macklemore. I'm looking at you, man. Do you know who that is?
I do know who he is, like for who he dated, but not for his music.
What? So, I don't know who he dated.
Who did he date?
Wasn't he the one that Made in Chelsea?
No, you're talking about Professor Green.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
This is amazing.
Okay.
It's another white rapper.
Okay, sorry. I'm
but
confused.
This one's American.
He's American. Oh, because when I was listening, I was like, wow, I can't even hear his British accent at all. Like, I thought it was the other one. Okay, so no, I don't know anything about him except that he released an amazing song today.
He did release an amazing song today. Do you not remember... Is it Thrift Store?
Thrift Store.
Yeah.
Oh, him. With the fur coat.
Big fur coat energy.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, like, they have a similar vibe. I mean, Professor Green and Macklemore, no?
They're just both white rappers with kind of reddish
Who are
hair.
very tall and like they dressed eccentrically. I mean, I'm a know nothing about music, so.
That's true.
That's true.
I wasn't
You're
being
open
nice, was
about
I?
that. He's open
I'm
about
very
that.
open. Yeah, full disclaimer in your words. So yeah.
So he's released a track called Hind's Hall.
Yes. It dropped last night.
You know about the history of what Hind's Hall was. Do you know about what it means?
Yeah, of course. So
Go for it.
Hind is a tribute to a 6-year-old Palestinian child called Hind Rajab, who was recently killed by Israeli military in Gaza while waiting for help. So the kind of more recent context is that the student protesters at Columbia University in the US have kind of taken over a space at the university.
I believe it was called the Hamilton's Hall.
And they've renamed it Hind's Hall. So it's a tribute to the 6-year-old child who died. And then now, Macklemore has released Hind's Hall, the rap. You've listened to it?
Yes, I have.
You've listened to it?
Yeah, it already has more than 400,000 or 4 million. I can't remember actually. On was a big number.
Both of those numbers are big.
Yeah, both of those numbers are big on Instagram. Like shares and likes. And,
Apparently, all the proceedings are going to go to obviously the Children's Relief Fund in Palestine.
Yeah.
So the UNHCR, I believe, they're going to be taking all of the
when it's on streamers. I don't think it's on stream. Now, it's not necessarily on streamers, but it might be by Thursday.
Yeah, it might be. By the time you're listening to this, you'll be able to listen to it, and that way they'll be able to give money to Palestine, which is a really nice way of doing it. We've seen this before in the Middle East. Obviously, a lot of Middle Eastern artists have been coming out with like rap songs and anthems for the Palestinian cause. But this is the first time. I think this is the biggest star that's Western who's done this.
Yeah, I think that's probably correct. He's been pretty outspoken about his support for Palestine along the way. He's made statements on stage, and he's been a supporter, for want of a better word, an ally, but he's been vocal.
He's always been quite vocal about things that he believes in, though. I remember like during Black Lives Matter, he also he was given an award once, and he said that he shouldn't have even received the award because he felt that he received it as a white rapper when he felt that a black rapper deserved it more. So it's kind of, he's always quite outspoken. So I don't think this isn't shocking to us that he would do something like this, but it's a bit of a tune.
Something I really like as well is so obviously it's very vocal in its message, literally like the lyrics. We can unpack the lyrics in a second. But it also it does more than just like lip service. The song samples Fairuz's Ana La Habibi.
Ana La Habibi.
So
mashallah. She speaks Arabic now.
If you don't know the word Habibi, what are you doing here?
What are you doing in the Middle East?
Those kind of research and trying to understand some of the cultural nuance and trying to bring in regional references. That's
and also,
not
I think
insignificant.
what I liked about it is that he's also referencing Western influences. Like he has images of Tupac, or he references, I think it's Ice Cube, another whoever rapped that other song. Bad with music. But you know who I'm talking about,
You're
right?
taking us down a dangerous path, though, lyrically,
yes,
because those words cannot be said.
Well, he references that other song and the other rapper whose words we cannot use, and kind of calling them out because they have been, in the past, protesting, created songs about protest in America, and sort of referencing back at them, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
It's a really clever track, and the video I don't know if this is this is really confusing about these days, because you do see a video online, you're like, is this the official? Is this not the official? But the video that I saw on YouTube is quite it's in portrait, mobile phone, and it uses a lot of footage that is from the Columbia protest, but also other universities and people really standing up.
I think you've seen the legit video.
Yeah.
That's what's on his. That's what's been released so far on his social media. That's what dropped at midnight last night. Yeah.
I think it adds to the song's theme and message that this is a movement by the people, from the ground, So I think that fact that it's a lot of videos from phones and old videos as well, it kind of pushes that message even more, because he's basically calling people up who are not doing anything from the top and talking to people from the bottom. So they're the ones who would be filming, and
it's very cool. I think obviously the students protesting has drawn a lot of attention back to the Palestinian cause, and we've seen other artists visit the camp. I saw Saint Levant. He visited the camp recently, and there's been other people that have been going and checking in on what's been happening there. So I think it's good to see that their support is growing yet again.
But I want to ask you guys something. Do you think it's important that A-list artists do stuff like this? Because like you said, he's one of the first. I think it's great when we have regional artists doing stuff, but when you have a major person, a major well-known global person do something like this, it focuses the attention not just on the issue, but it forces other people that are on his level to think oh, I need to do something as well. I need to at least say something, right?
Yeah, it's huge for conversation.
Yeah,
Huge.
I think it's really difficult. I know people are just like, often they're like, oh, you just stick to what you're doing. But if you're doing art is a reflection of how you're feeling. And I think I'm not alone in saying that I think everyone's been feeling a certain way about this issue. So it's just like, I feel that this is a reflection of how he's feeling. And I think that that's precisely why we have art, whether it's Picasso, you know, with his famous Weeping Woman, or, you know, or whether it's even like how fashion would think about punks in the 80s. Like everything is a reaction to maybe something that's happening in the world. And I think this is a perfect example of that.
Especially rap as well. It's like it's always been a vehicle to speak truth to power.
It's so political.
Yeah, it's so political as a medium.
It's dangerous though, because like there are so many people with such huge platforms, and I think the kind of like almost presumptive cancel culture of, oh, you haven't said anything about it, you're weak, oh, you haven't spoken about this, and people are kind of automatically written off. That's dangerous.
Yeah, I think that's dangerous.
And I don't think that there is, just because of a person's status, like an obligation, but like there is a level of respect for people that do use their platform, acknowledge their platform, and go, hey, I'm in a position of massive privilege and I can spotlight something. There are people that listen to Macklemore that won't have been thinking about Palestine for the last 6+ months. And like conversation has changed in the last 6 months, but this will have brought like potentially not huge, but a different audience, and kind of looking at it, hearing it. If they watch that video that you've seen, the one that's on his social media, they are going to be confronted by very daunting footage from Palestine, and it's hard to close your eyes to that, right?
And you know, also, I think we have to acknowledge the importance of social media when it comes to this, because a song like this wouldn't have been able to be released 20, 30 years ago if there was an Instagram.
10 years ago.
Yeah, even 10 years ago. And even footage from what's happening in Gaza and Palestine, a lot of this stuff has been coming out through social media. So I think it's important to recognize how important that this song is spreading on social media as well.
Yeah, there's something huge power in that.
It's really... So... let's go back to why you haven't slept much.
Oh, it's a jarring leap.
Can I just say something actually?
Else? Maybe I should, yeah.
I was going to say, it's always kind of, I think for all of us who work in media, it's kind of awkward sometimes to switch between like really serious topics to topics that are not so serious. So I think like listeners who are listening or watching, like also bear in mind like that is kind of part of the conversation. Sometimes it's a little bit strange to switch between these things.
It's funny, when I was doing news reading, because that's where I started, we would learn how to do that. So it's like 4 killed in a bombing. And then we'd go to, and finally we've got, and you change the tone of your voice. And it's harder to do that when it's like,
I think it's harder to do it informally in a conversation, how we're talking.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a skill. Shall I do it now?
Is what we've just said.
Yeah, I thought I was talking. I think we're breaking the fourth wall, people.
Met Gala.
Yeah, Met Gala. Big. It is a big.
It's huge for
a
the
big
fashion
deal.
industry.
Yeah, it is huge. But it was, I mean, Farah can speak more because, you know, you've been up since 4 a.m. But for me, on the offset, I will say it was very anticlimactic.
Yeah, I think my rundown, beautiful dresses. But I mean, it was a Sleeping Beauty theme, hon.
It was, yeah.
True. Maybe that's why they all
took
put
it
me
too
to sleep.
literally. I'll tell you 2 things I really wanted to see. I really wanted to see Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner together. I don't think they were
You
together.
did not?
I did not. And I wanted to see a political statement somewhere. Because there was last year.
Yeah, there was.
Was it last year? AOC she had something written on her dress. Tax her. I wanted to see something, but there wasn't. So it was kind of safe from pop culture moments were safe. There was nothing. And then politically it was safe. So all we had were the dresses. So.
Yeah, and they were pretty safe.
Pretty safe.
I think like...
They were beautiful, but they were safe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine to be safe. Look, my favorite look was the same as I think yours, right? Because we spoke about it just
One of
before
my
the show.
favorites,
It was Gigi Hadid's. It's stunning, beautiful. Wow, I wish I looked like that. It's really pretty, like white dress, ruffled towards the end, black trim, yellow flower. But again, it's like that black, white, a lot of nude dresses, a lot of beiges, a lot of sparkle.
Yeah, a lot of, I think a beige has
There
no...
was a lot of beige, a lot of
beige.
sparkle, and a lot of sheer.
Yeah.
look.
Yeah, sheer looks. And like a lot of people like bringing back like hippie chic kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, that was just like I mean, I don't want to be
Zoe Saldana,
pro,
I think. So boring.
pro Chloe as a general brand.
Yeah.
But 5 actresses wore Chloe and they just did look very, boho's back, is it?
Yeah. And I think Sienna Miller was
one of them.
And she is like
The
the
queen.
boho.
She never left boho.
Yeah, she's still there.
Yeah, Gigi's Tom Brown look was amazing. It was 3D yellow roses. It had a beautiful long train. And then when she was leaving the party, it was either a different dress or the train was taken off. I read that it took 70 people, 13,500 hours to make that dress.
Yeah, that's insane.
Ponder that.
But it looked so beautiful. It looked so minimal at the top and looked like it didn't, effortless, not minimal. It looked very effortless. So when you hear that number, you're like, whoa, that's
It's kind of the only reason why I'd ever want to be famous to go to the Met Gala. Because just to wear a pretty frock that I could never afford.
You don't have to be famous. You just have to have about $100,000 to have a table.
Well, this is the thing as well.
Choose.
Which one?
Even the I don't want to say
Neither are likely.
Oh, you aren't spending that?
I'm not spending that.
I was going to say even I don't want to say quality, but the type of guests that have been coming to it has changed dramatically from like the 90s and the 80s where you expected like the Kennedys, Gwyneth Paltrow, like they were more regulars. Now you have like some, very young Hollywood or TikTokers or like, I don't know, random people I've never even, I didn't even know who, Talia, the one who wore the sand dress. I was like, who is this?
A dress made out of sand by Balmain.
I really didn't like that dress because it's either so impeccable that you're like, whoa, that's made out of sand. Or it's like just sand splashed on her.
Sandpaper.
It has to be one of those. It can't be what it was, where it was like the part here was kind of crooked. It just looked like
she had to be picked up.
Yeah, that's why I like that she had to be picked up and like moved around.
Just literally be picked up. She couldn't go up the stairs by herself.
You know what look really I didn't like? It's kind of easier to talk about what I didn't like. You know how Zendaya had 2 looks?
Yeah.
They're both Galliano. The first one with the very sculptural, very typical Galliano was like really beautiful as a silhouette. The color was a bit like murky, swampy, whatever. Her second look was also Galliano. I can't remember. It was
the black.
The big black one.
Yeah, the Maison Margiela dress.
It was like a bunch of rubbish bags sewn togetger. And then the bouquet of flowers was so Snapchat flower crown filter 2016. I was like, what? Did you guys not?
I see. I mean,
Now?
this is interesting feedback because about 20 minutes before recording this, I was asked which I think is like the photo from the event. And I was like,
Zendaya.
I was like, go for Zendaya. It's very dramatic, big gown, fills the whole staircase.
I heard you say that. I thought you meant the green one, not the
But it
black
doesn't
one.
fill the whole staircase.
Oh, it doesn't. But there was never going to be another moment like Rihanna with the big yellow.
Any
big omelette
Rihanna
dress.
moment.
Yeah.
Any Rihanna moment. They're all great. I was really expecting more from Cardi B. And she just
Yeah.
wore like...
It was massive though, Cardi
Black.
B's. It had like 9 people having to move it around.
It wasn't my favorite. I mean, I have to say, I know that the theme was Sleeping Beauty. It definitely made me fall asleep.
My initial thought when I wake up, which I think has been like memed pretty consistently, was so it's Sleeping Beauty. The theme was like the Gardens of Time was the theme. And then everyone wore florals, and it was just the Meryl Streep meme from Devil Wears Prada. Florals for spring. Groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Oh.
Everyone turned up in little flowery.
And then we have to talk about Kim K, because she's
Do we?
getting a lot of attention.
Must
I mean,
we?
we don't. But she's getting a lot of attention for like the size of her waist.
Which
Yeah.
is wow.
Yeah, insane.
Like
and then quite a
how?
bobbly jumper.
Yeah, she wore cashmere with corsetry.
It looked really bobbly.
Actually had a plait up back in her hair.
Oh, so again, nothing really to report back.
Yeah, I
No.
was like, that's how I dressed when I used to go to school. I used to wear like a big jumper. Oh, did you not go to a school with corsets? No, big jumper, plait. Off I went.
I mean, last
No
year, didn't
corsetry.
she wear the Marilyn Monroe dress?
Yeah.
That
last
was
year?
more of an
That was last year.
interesting
Oh, the year
conversation.
before.
I mean, now, okay, you have like this really, interesting like body that is potentially manufactured or natural. I don't know. But it's like not really that. I don't find her or any of the Kardashians that interesting to talk about anymore. Like, okay, you look insane, good or bad. Okay, cool. Next, what's going on,
I wonder if one year they'll just get told not to come. Like,
I think that was how it used to be.
Yeah.
And then
and then Kim threw Kanye with the Mrs. Doubtfire dress when she was pregnant. That
was a big moment. That was a meme. If we were looking for a meme, bless her. That was savage.
That was
I don't
a
remember
moment.
this.
She was heavily pregnant
with
and
North.
she wore a floral dress down to her gloves. And
That time.
she
Yeah.
got pretty savagely memed there.
But to be fair, this
She
is
knew
what's
that was gonna
interesting.
happen.
Yeah, to be fair, what's interesting about the Met Gala is now you see everybody wearing like full dresses and outfits with the gloves that's covering their hands, you know. And she was one of the first to do that at the Met Gala. I mean, she wore it, but she didn't style it. So I'm saying like it's interesting to see what in a couple of years the Met Gala will be influencing us normal people. You know?
I do.
What are you going to take away from it then? Sheer, boho chic.
I guess maybe we'll see. The thing about the Met Gala, though, without being too industry, is that it is more of a reflection of like what we've seen on the runway already, and that's kind of like where we are now. And then the exhibition that runs every year at the Metropolitan Museum of Art is kind of like a reflection of kind of where they see the fashion industry and a reflection of what they're excited about.
Yeah.
So there is, I guess, there's whimsy. You'll have whimsy in your wardrobe.
Whimsy.
heard it here.
What was your favourite Met Gala theme?
My theme. Oh,
Mine was the holy.
That was mine.
Yeah, because it was just amazing.
Was that the Pope year?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a pretty good one. Didn't Rihanna wear something incredible that year?
Amazing.
Yeah, she dressed like
Hat.
a priest.
Hat
I didn't like
priest.
the Karl Lagerfeld one, even though I love Karl Lagerfeld. I just didn't like that one. That was last
year.
Yeah.
I was unenthused by anyone that dressed up as his cat. I was like,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
So moving on to our next topic. You've seen this film.
Yes. I'm
Go on,
so
you
excited to
introduce
talk
it.
about it. So it's called Heeramandi. I think I'm pronouncing it right. So that translates to Diamond Bazaar or Diamond Market. And it's directed by Sanjay Leela Bhansali. So he's quite well known in Bollywood for directing these very epic, beautiful movies that are very stylized. But this is, I think it's his first Netflix series, and it's like one of the most expensive, I think, Indian series ever for
I think
Netflix.
ever. I read
Yeah.
that this is a reported budget in Indian media, but it's a $20 million budget, which is
Wow.
huge.
Insane. But I'm not surprised when you see it. It's okay. First of all, I'll tell you what it's about. It's set in 1920s Lahore, which back then was part of India and Pakistan before partition, and it's just before the Indian people revolted against the British, who were colonizing India at that time. And it's set in an area where where courtesans exist, and I didn't know any of this. It's very memoirs of a geisha.
Oh, okay.
So it's set in a courtesan palace, I don't know, courtesan area, where the courtesans are trained in music and dance, and they're very sort of elevated, and they court the nobility and the men, and they sort of train them on how to be gentlemen. And the men also sort of chase after these courtesans. So it's sort of like a rite of passage for these sort of men of nobility. And the queen or the lady of the courtesan house, she rules with a very iron fist. She has a lot of influence, across the region. And her daughter doesn't want to be a courtesan. She wants to be a poet, and she sort of wants to leave this life. And she kind of has this love story with one of the sons of the great noble families. So that's the gist of it. But it's also set against these political protests that are starting to happen, and you see this intersection between the citizens who want the British to stay and those who don't want to stay, and then the British influence. So it's a big epic story that's in ways a love story, but also set against a very social and political, vibrant backdrop. So it has a lot of stuff happening from the story perspective, but visually it's stunning. Like, it has beautiful drapery, beautiful costumes, beautiful makeup, beautiful hair, beautiful jewelry, and it's all about the detail. It's wonderful lighting, and it has also references to a lot of like Bollywood style of filming. So there's like music and there's like dancing that doesn't really make sense in a proper story, but in this theme or in this genre, it really works, and it's just visually stunning to watch.
Are you doing their marketing?
I should.
That was beautiful.
I should.
And end scene.
Paid advertisement.
You've got me. I'm going to go home and watch it
Yeah,
tonight.
watch one episode. And I would suggest, I know this is like sacrilegious, but put it on dubbed. so you can listen to it in English and watch the scene and see it, because sometimes with the subtitles you're reading and you don't catch all the beautiful
it's in
imagery.
Hindi.
It's a feast for your eyes.
It's a feast for your eyes. Yeah. So, but you can dub it into English or Arabic, and you can't even tell really. But it's and they have really great chemistry. The two main stars.
Are you a big Bollywood fan?
I'm a fan of Bollywood music. I'll just play it in the background when I'm doing stuff. I don't know what I'm listening to, but I just like it. But I don't know like the Bollywood movies and.
I went through a phase.
Where you were really into it?
Yeah, I went through a phase.
I had a very large part of my career that was spent doing Bollywood interviews, Bollywood press conferences and junkets. So I was embedded, but it's not my go-to film genre.
But it's the power of Bollywood, right? It's seeped into all of our lives, and none of us are from the South Asian continent.
Yeah,
Kabhi
so
Khushi
true.
Kabhi Gum. You don't know that film? It's an epic. It's a classic. Guys, you got to see it.
Yeah.
You'll cry, you'll laugh, you'll miss your
sing.
mother, you'll sing. Someone dies.
In everyone.
In everyone. I just loved it. I went through a real phase, like Dil Chanta Hai. I like that. Devdas.
She's...
Yeah, I went through a phase where I can sing a few Bollywood songs. I'm not going to do that. It's not fair.
I mean, does Bend It Like Beckham count? No. I mean,
I mean, it's a modern classic.
It is. It is a modern classic. I can direct a whole. I can talk for 3 hours about Bend It Like Beckham. But yeah, it's brilliant. It has the good music.
It's set in Southall.
Okay. But it's Bollywood influenced, right?
Is it Southall? I think it is. Is it Bollywood influenced?
I mean,
Maybe.
there's
It's a classic.
British Indian actors in it.
Yeah.
And there are definitely there are influences.
And one of the actors in this was born in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, he was.
We see in our little film notes.
Yeah.
Little notes.
Oh, I was meant to say that.
Oh,
No, I was like, I hadn't even read that far. You're doing spoilers for me.
I think he's the main like heartthrob. What is-
we'll get there eventually.
Sorry, he is the
Heartthrob
main.
is
He's
the
the
one.
main heartthrob. You have been up since 4 a.m. and I can't speak, so I don't know
We're
what's
nailing it.
what's going on.
I think
here.
we're doing really well.
I actually know I'm in. I'm
Yeah.
listening.
Our best episode, yeah.
I've remembered something. This is clumsy. You have already called us clumsy
I'm
today.
ready.
That I loved about the Met Gala.
Oh,
Yeah.
Let's go back.
Yeah, we can go back.
We can go back.
We spoke about the Sleeping Beauty theme.
Yeah.
The Russian tennis player Maria Sharapova,
Yes.
do we know her? She attended. She wore a yellow dress. Can anyone picture it? It didn't really make any headlines. It wasn't
No.
No.
but it was made out of bedding. It was made out of sheets. Which I was like, that's
Respect.
What a read of the Sleeping Beauty theme.
Yeah.
That's my
Wow.
favorite read of the
Respect.
theme.
Wasn't there a guy one year that wore a blanket?
ASAP Rocky wore a big duvet one year.
Wait, I have a great question before we tear off towards the end. What would be your ideal Met Gala theme?
Whoa.
I'll go first.
You thought about this?
The Orientalist sands of Arabia.
I was gonna say Arabian Nights.
Something, yeah, Arabian Nights. Something where you play on.
Yeah, there has to be something from this
Something
region.
from here, like I can imagine, like everybody's showing up in abayas. It'd be beautiful.
Yeah, I think it would be really
There-
cool.
Robes,
There's,
just
like,
robes.
Just
Robes are
robes,
stunning.
yeah.
Potential for some incredibly problematic cultural
Yes,
appropriation.
perhaps.
But hey, the Met Gala's been there before.
Yeah, I mean they don't shy away from it. There'd be a lot of velvet. You know, velvet was invented or discovered, or I don't know how
I love
cloth
that.
is made, but is in Baghdad.
Crafted? Really?
Crafted, yeah, in Baghdad.
Baghdad.
So I didn't know this until last week. But
Oh,
yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a great fact to end on.
It is velvet Baghdad.
Done.
Done.
Thank you so much for listening today.
If you like this episode, please follow and subscribe on your favorite podcasting app.
And don't forget to tell all your friends and family and to follow The National on Instagram and social media.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.